Hello everybody and welcome. So apparently recently one big thing in video games has been like the mysteries behind games. And I think I found one of my own. Now, if you've ever played, I'm going to turn off the music here, but if you have ever played the original Ruby and Sapphire, and Emerald, you will know about the most annoying fucker in the entire universe. Especially if you never cheated on the games, which most people did, like looking up stuff on the internet. This douchebag old man right here would be your arch nemesis. Now, part number one of my mystery is, and I could just be making shit up, but it came together quite nicely and it sounded pretty good. Are we in the future, and is your guy a reincarnation of the original Ruby hero? The first thing that made me think of this was when I was in this city right here, on the map right here, you can check. You're right there. So when you click on this guy, though, they say here in Honenberg places is Mirage spots. Now, if you remember, in the original game, it was called Mirage Island. And one day out of the entire year, which means you had to go back and check every single day for a whole year. And if you missed that one day, well, you were fucked. They say here in Honenberg places near those Mirage spots. One does not simply walk into a Mirage spot, not to mention these places are also Disney mysteries. He would originally say there was a place like Mirage Island and he couldn't see it today. And you'd go check there every single day and you'd come back and check there. Now, the weird thing is, though, he calls them Mirage spots and he doesn't say that he doesn't see one today. Which is pretty weird because if you remember correctly, there's supposed to be Mirage spots, not Mirage cities. Number two, Secret Meadow is the name of this place. Now, I'm gonna get the name wrong here, but originally, and if this is in the future or in the past, actually, this could be in the past because it's not a full island yet, which would make more sense. But this could be before your character, the character before yours. But Secret Meadow was not what this was called. It was called like the Sky Tower. The second part to Fuck You was getting Rayquaza, which if you did that in my school, you were the coolest person ever in elementary school because you were able to do the jumping shit on the bike, which was the hardest thing ever, which they took out because my biggest problem with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is how much easier they made the game than the original. Because in the original, this thing right here, no kid would have been able to do that today. They would have given up before they got there. Also, the biggest thing with how this game has become a million times easier is the fucking XP share. Now, XP share is usually given to you middle to end of the game. And what it does is it lets you give XP to your main Pokemon, half XP to your main Pokemon, half XP to one other Pokemon in your party. But the problem I have is it lets me give full XP to my main Pokemon and half XP to every single Pokemon in my party. Every single one, not just one. The other thing is there's the Delta Saga, which the Delta Saga is kind of like Pokemon Emerald. So instead of but the difference was in Ruby and Emerald you would catch a Rayquaza or Groudon. It was your choice. But in the Delta Saga, it's a little bit different. The other thing I wanted to say out there to anybody who actually plays this game, do not ever over prepare for the Elite Four. Because in the newest games, the Elite Four is like the biggest round of pussies you could ever see, and they're super easy to beat. It didn't take much of anything. So I had Groudon. Let me see here. So we'll go through my people. I had Groudon, level 50. Quite easy. I think I had one almost level 60 or level 60. Bayonet level 53. Shelgon level 49. Metagross level 46. Sceptile level 63. And Shiftry level 56. And I was able to beat the whole Elite Four. And I got, I think, 25 Hyper Potions and 15 Revives. And I was able to beat the whole Elite Four with these Pokemon. The hardest Pokemon person to beat was the Dragon Tamer for me, just because fucking none of my Pokemon did shit against dragons, so thank you, Groudon, and you, because you guys didn't die in one hit. you could live a couple times before it would kill you. But yeah, so also you, because you could one-hit KO the Ever Dragons. But, people have been, I was watching some Let's Plays of Omega Ruby, and people are just like, oh, well, I need to get all my Pokemon to level 60s. That's not true at all. You do not need to get all your Pokemon to level 60. I actually was okay with having some 40s in there, which says something. The other Pokemon, my substitute Pokemons to trade in, were if I needed more Fire Pokemon for the Elite Four, which I tried, but it worked better this way, the way I did it, but Breloom was there. He wasn't really a substitute, but my substitute was Jeff, which is my dad's name, but Earthquake, Hyper Voice, Strength, and Overheat at the time. The only problem was he knew Earthquake, but he didn't know any moves that were really good against flying Pokemon, besides Overheat, which was okay. So I had him. Wailord was also a substitute. If I would have trained him up more, he could have been a substitute. I had the Mega Stone for him. Big Bang Attack is a reference to Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta's move. But there's Tuck Wailord. There's Shiftry. He's not in here right now because I'm training up Jack Frost. What else? I chose that because it's my favorite Pokemon, and always will be. But yeah, so part 2 of the mystery is that. Part 3, which isn't a little bit more obvious, it's a lot less obvious, part 3 is. By the way, they also give you Latios at the beginning of the game, which is really stupid, and I don't know why they did that. But whatever. And the weird thing is the legendary Pokemon they chose to put in this aren't the legendary Pokemon that they should have. Like, there's no Deoxys in this, which would have made more sense than the 3 Pokemon from Diamond and Pearl and Black and White. It would have made more sense to put Deoxys and Jirachi and shit in there, but alas, no. So some of the other things that were a big hint to me is this right here hasn't occurred yet. This whole path used to be a huge, like, wave thing, and it was like a big puzzle, and you had to figure out the right direction to go on the waves. Now it's just a straight path to there, which has changed a lot. The other things are this cave right here isn't as big as it used to, so yeah, this is, I think, a prequel to what originally happened, and that's also could be why it's not just Groudon and it's like before, which was weird because Mega Evolutions and stuff, but you don't see that in any of the other games. And the fact that a lot of these are even missing is either it's farther in time where they just didn't exist anymore and they blocked it up, or like they just decided not to show it, which is really weird. But that's just my opinion for that. It's just strange to me that some of the things are just missing. I might as well show more of my Pokemon before I end this video, because since I'm using an iPad until I get my capture card, which remember to please like, comment, and subscribe, and when I reach 100 subscribers, I'm doing a big giveaway. I'm also, if you comment down below telling me your Pokemon team, if Pokemon were to exist in real life, and your favorite Pokemon, you could win a copy of Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. And tell me what you guys think about my theory, which is probably really stupid and dumb. Emily's the name of my girlfriend, so I have 2 Pokemon named after her. That's one. I only turned the music back up. So we got Spiel, Emily. I only turned the music back up because of... Yeah, but see Latios, which I didn't do anything with, but they give it to you immediately. It's kind of stupid, but okay. Metagross, I'm super happy they gave me a shiny Metagross. Shiny Metagross is like the coolest looking shiny ever. Tuk, waiting for me to find my Mega Stone for him. Wailord, which I just needed for surf reasons. Also, because Wailord would be one of my top 6 Pokemon to have in real life. He's one of my top 10 favorites. I chose him because originally when I played this as a kid, I was probably like 8 to 12, between that range, but I had him as my Pokemon starter, and I also had Ruby, so that's why I chose him. So I had X-Scissor, Leaf Blade, Leaf Storm, and Earthquake for him. I had Sucker Punch, Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, and Psychic when I was first in Elite Four with him. These are all mostly the same moves. Psychic, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, Flamethrower, Fly, Zen Headbutt, Strength. Fly and Strength weren't on there though. It was like Dragon Claw and something else. Shift Tree, Leaf Blade, Rock Smash, Extra Sensory, and Leaf Storm. Those stocks I had for a while. But yeah, there we go. And Groudon, which just had Lava Plume, I gave him Overheat, Earthquake, and Crepula Blades. I love that they gave you Overheat to begin with. But thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below and be a subscriber to win a copy of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Thank you, Pockemiom. Bye-bye.